So I've actually reviewed one fragrance from this brand. It's called Eternal Lily Amber. The brand is called Bohoboco. And this is a sample that I took home from Scent Explore last month in December. So it's been a little over a month now. And I've actually tried this fragrance many months ago because I do have a discovery set from them. This is called Sea Salt Caramel. Really unique note breakdown. You have caramel, brown sugar, seaweed or sea plants, I think the note breakdown says, although it might not be entirely accurate. Pink pepper, lemon, just a really interesting note breakdown. I look forward to giving you my thoughts on today's pseudo first impression, so make sure to stay tuned. Before I begin today's episode and I give you my first impression or pseudo first impression on Sea Salt Caramel by Bohoboco, I'll tell you what I think of the smell, performance on my skin, comparisons to other fragrances, so on and so forth. But before I begin, I want to mention that if you're a fan of fragrance-related content, hit the subscribe button. Please hit that neighboring bell and give this video a thumbs up. It would really mean a lot to me and it would assist tremendously with the YouTube algorithm. So here is a fragrance that I sprayed about 10-15 minutes ago. So I am getting into the dry down of this fragrance now. Not the deep dry down, but you know, a lot of the top notes have probably evaporated. Might not be able to smell the lemon anymore, for example. But Sea Salt Caramel sounds like a very unique gourmand fragrance. Of course, when you add caramel to a fragrance, sometimes it does have this salty vibe to it. You think of caramel, toffee, I mean, it's in the nature of it, but how do you accomplish that unless you add something like algae or seaweed? And of course, there's been many fragrances that have utilized either seaweed or algae or some kind of oceanic ingredient to kind of give it that salty vibe, because salt doesn't actually have a smell, right? And of course, I'm thinking of Acqua di Sale by Profumum Roma, and I'm thinking of Cel Maron by Healy. There are a lot of fragrances that kind of have that, and I hate to say this, but that fishy smell. Is this going to be one of them? The answer is no, which is good. And I think it's because all of those other warm and sweet ingredients are overtaking the blend. They are overtaking the composition. So you do have a lot of caramel, you do have a lot of gourmand nuances, maybe perhaps even a touch of vanilla. And of course, you know, the brown sugar, I'm sure, is an accord of different ingredients. And given the fact that this fragrance came out back in 2016, I think it deserves a lot more praise. I think this is a very unique gourmand fragrance. Of course, with that lemon and pink pepper opening, it's a little spicy, it's a little rosy. You have some white floral tendencies in the heart of this fragrance. But of course, really sitting at the forefront of this fragrance is the caramel. And it is that sort of a seaweed algae vibe that you get from it. And I can say it's sweet, it's dulcet, it's a little lactonic, and by that I mean milky. It's not anything like Quilombo by Fueguia, which is a really milky lactonic fragrance. And then of course there's also Caramel Pop by Vivamor Parfum. That one is also super milky and lactonic with some sweet tendencies as well. But this one, despite the sweetness, it's not in your face. It's not overly sweet. It's not cloyingly sweet. It's not toothache inducing or anything like that. So if you're looking for something very easy to wear, very easygoing, has a certain level of mass appeal to it, but it's still a little bit on the different and daring side of things, try this one out. Sea Salt Caramel. I think this one is really interesting. Again, the sea salt vibe in here is strong, but it's not strong to the point where it smells fishy. So I do want to clarify that point. But it is there. So you are going to smell that salty tendency. And, you know, for some, it might just bring back memories or hearken memories of walking along the pier in the summer. And, you know, maybe you're eating, you know, some sort of caramel delight or some sort of, you know, dessert. And I know if you're walking along the boardwalk in Atlantic City, they certainly sell a lot of confections that utilize caramel or toffee. And of course, you have that salty sea breeze in the air because you have the neighboring body of water. And, you know, for some people, I think it might evoke those positive memories. So I think this is a fragrance that could potentially be quite nostalgic for you, depending on your upbringing and, you know, where you've been and the things that you've experienced in your youth. But nevertheless, solid fragrance, mass appeal. On the more daring side of things, so I don't know if I could say this is the biggest compliment getter from the brand. I'm gonna have to revisit the samples that I have in my collection because I am fairly confident that there are many other fragrances from this brand that I would wear for like an office setting or something like that. For me personally, look, I got 7 hours on skin. So that's quite good in my opinion, 7 or 8 hours on skin. And for me, I think this is great for casual scenarios because it does sort of conjures up moments of, you know, walking along the boardwalk or the pier in the summertime, enjoying some type of a sweet confection and smelling that salty sea breeze. So for me, it's casual. You can wear this one formally, but it's more casual, perfectly unisex. And I think this one is great for anybody of any age. I think anybody of any age would appreciate the memories and the vibes that are conjured up by this fragrance. Sea Salt Caramel, or yeah, Sea Salt Caramel. I thought I had it backwards. Bohoboco, do you have any experience with this brand? If you do, drop your comments down below. Always love to read your comments, always love the interaction. And I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed this pseudo first impression, and I hope you took something of value from my pretty quick assessment of the smell, the performance, and my general vibe of the fragrance. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to support the channel by subscribing to it. Hit the bell and give this video a thumbs up as well. Thank you again for everything. I love you all, and we'll see you tomorrow with a new episode. Bye.